Turnip Boy is back, and this time he's upping the ante and going from tax evasion to bank robbing in Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. In this video, I'll be giving a full review of the game and rating it from decaf to fully caffeinated. If you're new here, my name is Beck, aka Caffeinated Chaos Click, and I make content about indie games. Follow along for indie game reviews, playthroughs, recommendations, and more. Without further ado, let's grind this game down and see how it brews. If you've played the first Turnip Boy game, Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, you'll be pleased to know that the story for this game follows straight on from the end of that one. You're approached by the leader of the notorious Pickled Gang after they hear about your tax evasion antics, with one task in mind: robbing the Botanical Bank. You'll be given some quick training before being thrown into the depths of the bank, where you'll need to take down guards, shake customers down for money, break into safes, and eventually make your way down to steal the ultimate motherlode. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is very clearly set in the same world as the first game, with an interesting style and hilarious dialogue. You don't need to play the first game to pick this one up, as it takes on a life of its own, but you will find some pretty big similarities in terms of style and story elements. There's a range of side quests you need to complete for various characters alongside your main heisting goals that all add up to unlocking new weapons and items to help you become the best bank robber you could be. Overall, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank has a hilarious story that combines some shady humour in a fun way. The Turnip Boy world is expanded on from the first game, making this a great sequel, but also a game you could play as a standalone. For story and world building, I'm rating Turnip Boy Robs a Bank as juice. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank brings some pretty new mechanics to the mix. The first game was more of an exploration RPG style game, whereas Turnip Boy Robs a Bank takes on more of a roguelite dungeon crawler style. The game takes on two main sections: the main warehouse and the bank. The warehouse functions as your home base, and it's here that you peruse the dark web for weapons and other tools to help you with your heist, as well as research new weapons and purchase power-ups to help you on your bank robbing journey. In the bank, you'll start off in the foyer and need to navigate further into the bank. The first few foyer type rooms stay the same, but it's a different story once you hit the elevators, with random rooms appearing each time. You've got a certain amount of time you can spend in the bank before the fuzz show up and arrest you, so you got to get in and out as quick as possible, and the more you navigate, the harder it becomes, with various bosses to take down as you progress. The actual combat is probably the only mechanic that I didn't really like, simply because there's no real aiming function, so your guns just lock onto whatever is closest, which can get frustrating at times when Turnip Boy starts shooting up bookshelves instead of the guards actively firing at you. I will say that this is quite a different style to the first game, and it's definitely a lot more repetitive. If you're on the fence about purchasing, I'd definitely take into consideration that the mechanics of the game are very different to the first one, so if you weren't a fan of the first game, you could very well enjoy this one. Overall, the mechanics are pretty solid, offering a pretty fun dungeon crawler type experience with a side of dark humour. The combat can get a little frustrating at times, and it can get a little bit repetitive, but for the style of game it is, that's not unexpected. And the overall game feels good to play. For game mechanics, I'm rating Turnip Boy Robs a Bank as juice. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank takes on a cute 2D pixel art style that is really fun and colourful. The characters are well designed, and the game brings through the quirky style established in the first game. This game definitely highlights how simple can often be better, and the graphic style is perfect for the quirky landscape of the game. I particularly love the use of the cutscenes and the animation style to help tell the crucial story elements, and the fun comic style animations that pop up when you're going up against a boss. The music in the game suits the fun vibe, adding a nice backdrop to rob a bank to, and the sound effects are used well to complement the action in the game and provide information about what's going on. Overall, the graphic and sound design is simple yet quirky and effective, providing a great aesthetic for the game that is fun to engage with and suits the overall vibe. For graphics and sound, I'm rating Turnip Boy Robs a Bank as fully caffeinated. I think one of the most loved aspects of Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion was just how unique the concept is. Taking a funny backstory and turning it into a quest of sorts worked so well in that game and set a great scene for the sequel. In Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, you definitely still get that unique vibe. The game combines elements like the dark web, bank robbery, and shady supplements with a fun dark humour that you don't often find in games, and with the graphic style going in the complete opposite direction, the game experience is a really quirky mashup. The dungeon crawler side of the game is probably the only letdown in terms of originality, as it doesn't feel like there's any innovation to the actual game style and mechanics. It's executed really well and feels really fun to play, but it is quite similar to other games out there that include this type of aspect. Overall, the theme and style of the game is totally unique, and the opposing cute cartoon graphic style makes for a really great and original concept. So for originality, I'm rating Turnip Boy Robs a Bank as juiced. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is a fun and quirky dungeon crawler game that is the perfect sequel to the first Turnip Boy game. You'll find a whole stack of dark humour and themes with a cute cartoon graphic style and some well-designed sound aspects that really make for a fun game experience. This is quite a different take on the Turnip Boy world, but still brings the fun in a different way and still feels like it belongs in the Turnip Boy franchise. We've ground the beans, we've carefully weighed and pressed the grinds and brewed this game down. Now it's time for a taste test. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is juiced. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is available to purchase on Steam, or you can play it on the Xbox Game Pass. You can find the links in the description below, and that's where we're going to wrap up this review video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more indie game content like reviews, playthroughs, recommendations, and more. Until next time, stay caffeinated.